Okay, so the thing with these objectives is we're looking for a landscape to put these types of specifications on so we can have more of a privileged amount of storage for ourselves. So, other than that, we are working with Comcast and Comcast planographs as you figure out a planograph for every circumference around here. So you have more storage and space for those types of compliances as they are more towards a store of a certain search and certain region. So it's pretty much looking at more of is more of looking at the version of 47,739 different specifications and different inclines as far as knowing the amount of meals they get produced a day, as far as it knowing 32 meals from 37 meals from 36 meals getting produced a day, in a 3 year investment. So, it's being able to know more of your $3,000 investment and why it's more of $3,000 invested at the time. So, it's pretty much working with, more predominance and, more sufficiencies as far as the hundreds go, and knowing more about the group hundreds that get assorted at the time is pretty much where you learn more about the recreations of these types of details. So it's pretty much looking at Workday, WeWork, Adobe. You work with majority of those types of details, and that's pretty much how you play with the Comcast planographs of this situation that you see. So with that being said, all it's just telling you is that it has its points. It has its points. So that could be Smithville. This could be Wimberley, and this could be Brenham. And it's pretty much as you gain more privileges from a location, from a destination point. You know more of the location than the destination point, and you figuring out where to put the item or the product for the destination point of the location. So it's being able to know Smithville. That's being able to know Smithville from Brenham. Being able to know Smithville from Brenham, and being able to know what you need to give um, in order to have a cooler method of statistics rising. And, that's being able to know more about Google Infomark, and, knowing more about what Google Infomark does to promote more for its structurability as you gain $544 from that transaction, $644, $1244. You gain big change for that. So that's just high amounts of Hawaiian Punch. Hawaiian Punch. So it's just big facts for Hawaiian Punch. So that's being able to use more subscriptions and uh, more items for the use of your country, and being able to send love notes and treaty notes to loved ones is pretty much what we want to do in the future, as we send notes to Hallmark, to Wendy's, to Jack in the Box, just going all over, and being able to share the mixed love that we have is pretty much what we want to do as far as on Easter, from Thanksgiving, from President's Day, from Memorial Day, from from the following holidays, and that's pretty much where you're using more of 546 acres to promote more for that celebration. So it's being able to use more than 576 years of expectancy to celebrate for that celebration at the time. So it's pretty much using adaptability from 1957 to 2077, 1957 to 2077, and being able to use more for free trade and New Deal era as we figure out new documents to invent New Deal, New Deal era, and it was New Deal era and free trade investment era, and that's just pretty much how 1969 got started. As you transferred from Arizona and went to Oklahoma to Kansas to Detroit, you could have went anywhere after that. So it's just like middle school in a way. So it's just pretty much where you're using more of your middle school intent. So you being able to use more of that type of statistics for their rating, and as being able to use as being able to know more of Comcast instead of CNN, and knowing the difference between Comcast and CNN. So as being able to put the if thens together, and being able to combine like terms and make separation of powers. So it's being able to use a lot of that intuitive as you use forms of production. So it's being able to use a certain type of intriguements at the time. So it's being able to know more about the coordinates and the companies that they are. Being able to take you to that coordinate and that company as they comply you with different resources within that location that could give you a benefit of what you're looking for as you look for it in those presentations. So as being able to look at what you see there, and being able to look at the coordinate number, and be able to intensify the Google Fi moments that happen in the building sites. So that's pretty much working with Outlook, ADP, T-Mobile, Comcast, Grid. You're working with those details to promote more for that detail. So it's pretty much as you making more for Google Infomark, and being able to know more about 37 months from 57 months, and being able to deal with better software data is pretty much what we want to be able to do in Google Infomark. Of knowing its color tyranny of Ecoleaf, and being able to comply more with Ecoleaf with other resources of the programs, being able to be on time elapsed with the program every 2, 7, 6 months. So it's being able to know more about a lot of entertainment that goes on in the system, as it knows its plural state of economy at the time. So it already has the bigger portion of the picture. It just needed more of the standard location of the environment at the time. So that's pretty much what we studied when we went to Sam Houston, and that's pretty much what we did. So it's pretty much working with Suddenlink, and it's pretty much as you learn more about this, pretty much where you're looking at the difference between Suddenlink and T-Mobile. So that's pretty much looking at the difference between Suddenlink and T-Mobile. So that's both, they're both about $34 million profits after this type of subscription gets authorized. So it's being able to deal with transactions on Suddenlink and T-Mobile through through EcoLeaf, and being able to know more about EcoLeaf's transitions is pretty much where it's spending more of 95,000, 542 times. So it's being able to know more about purple, green, and orange situations versus it being 2005 versus it being 2009 versus it being 2022. When you could have gained the interest of working, that long for that many hours. So, it's just being able to have more privilege than most at the time, and it balancing out, the same statistic over and over again 543 times. So, it's being able to gain this consistency of the right balance, and, being able to construct the right mission towards the intentions that I want. So, it's being able to know more about Suddenlink of MoneyGram's coordinates, and, being able to know more about what prescribes blue, white, and green networks of Suddenlink and MoneyGram and T-Mobile's advantage point. So, it's being able to use those types of investments at the hour. So with that being said, this could be Comcast Grid, which is on Comcast planograms. This is where the multi-platform stuff started in the planograms of Comcast Grid. So, it's pretty much where you're working with 37 months, 47 months for up to about 380 hours, 48 times. So, it's being able to work with the year as far as knowing more about digital networking and, being able to know more about the sound of music and, being able to hear the world geographic tone of sound at the time. As you know more about 2700 and 3500. That's pretty much what you're getting at the point in time. So, it's pretty much as you starting to invest in knowing more about time travel and, 1977 from 2010 at the time. So, it's pretty much working with yellow, orange, and green precautions of 917-hour durabilities, of orange, green, and blue different distances at the time. So, it's working with Articles of Federation, Bill of Rights, separation of powers, being able to know majority of the forms that they get put out that's very duplicated and represented well, as a known state of pride and spirits at the time. So, that's either Comcast or it's MoneyGram. And, they get transferred over and over from diverse symmetry imagery, and that's pretty much what you want to make at this point, a polygram of geometry at the time. You want to make a reflection on, the designs and fashions to make more home decor for yourself. So, that's pretty much where you want to make that whole network happen for yourself. So, it's pretty much looking at a transaction between distribution and transition and telecommunications with making Jackson Hewitt statements at the time, being able to know more about Jackson Hewitt's statements of $57,794, being able to know more about that federal statement is pretty much where we making profit and ends meet for 2030 and 2047. So it's being able to be more tax reserved for that national influence. So it's being able to know more about that detail, and being able to know more about 1947 to 2057, and knowing more about that whole account or detail at that time. So it's pretty much looking at 1946 to 2026. So it's pretty much dealing with that 1946 special of between 2002 and 2013, and using the midpoints of either art, or either English, or either one of those reading courses that you normally go through. So it's just depending on what you study, or what you want to study, or what your teacher is instructing you at the time. So other than that, it's pretty much working with $57,776 of interest going towards yellow, green, and blue statistics of where you want your ADP investments at. Is pretty much where you start in 57,755 different investments at the time that go to EcoLeaf, and being able to know more of T-Mobile's payments at the time. Working on 563 different accounts at the time of T-Mobile payments is pretty much where ADP investments go. So that's just a look of 556 leaving the counter right there. That's 556 leaving T-Mobile. So it's being able to know more about T-Mobile and taking off with T-Mobile's 8843. So it's being able to take off with that detail. So other than that, this is standard form positions. As you know more about the basic ways how to promote more for the intermediate challenge that you have, at some point in lifetimes at the time. So it's pretty much where you're working on these types of details, and being able to know more about 5 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4, and being able to know your 3-digit greatest common factors at the time. So it's pretty much working on 2037, 2056, and knowing that's pretty much factors of life after 2019 to 2022. So yes, that's pretty much good for an investment at the time. So yeah, that's pretty much what we use on those in credentials of 1946 to 2005 at the time. So that's pretty much what we use a lot of in our own privileged way of propelled benefits. So that's pretty much what we booming on, and being able to use more credentials with.